Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DeFurio with Keys to the Shop, and welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco, and they've been making espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. La Marzocco's reputation in the industry is well established as one of the most innovative and dependable companies out there. That's why you will find La Marzocco espresso machines at some of the world's best coffee bars. Many of us grew up with La Marzocco espresso machines, and they continue today with their machines like the KB90 with the straight-in locking portafilters, as well as machines like the classically designed Linea PB with a classic Linea profile. All of the technology of today to give the barista the control over the extraction that they need to produce amazing coffee, and everywhere in between, a lot of automation, a lot of manual features, just what you need for your specific coffee shop. They have it. So go to lamarzocco.usa.com and see what they have to offer if you're in the market for an espresso machine for your new business or your expanding business. And reach out to their salespeople as well. Info at lamarzocco.usa.com, and they will help you get the right espresso machine for your needs. Again, check them out, lamarzocco.usa.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by rattleware.com. You know, the coffee shop is held together by a lot of little things. We call these things small wares, little pieces of equipment and little tools that really make a big difference when the crunch is on, when the rush is happening, when you need dependable shot glasses and pitchers and knock boxes and other implements and whisks, that kind of stuff. It really sucks when those things don't work, and that is what is behind the company of Rattleware. They want to provide you with small wares that just work because they want to be the support for your cafe where you can depend on them for the consistency of the operations. And that's exactly why you should go visit them at rattleware.com for your smallware needs. They have been around for quite a long time and have really been serving the industry well. And I believe they will serve the needs of your business well also. Again, check them out, rattleware.com. Okay, everyone. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about something that has been maybe more of an issue than we'd like to think it is. And that is the idea that your sales numbers really don't tell the whole story, but we allow them to tell the whole story. So let me explain this a little bit. We get the numbers back about the success of our initiatives based on the number of sales that people, they buy our drink, they buy our sandwich, they buy bags of coffee. And we say, well, that's proof. The people love it. Look at it. They keep buying it over and over and over again. That is proof that we're being successful. They love the blend. They love this turkey and provolone, whatever, sandwich. They love our signature beverage or this particular flavor of latte. And to a degree, that might be true, but to another degree, there may be something else at play. And I think you've done this as well, where you have gone to a place and out of sheer desperation for caffeine, sugar, or sustenance of, something savory, you have purchased something and thought it'll do the job. And if you find yourself in that spot over and over again, you might buy the same or the safest thing over and over again. But what you're not going to do is like it necessarily. Some people may like those things, but you're not going to be guaranteed to like something that you purchase. It might just be the best option. And the numbers don't tell you that. What are we missing when we are looking at the data only from the numbers of sales as a determining factor as to whether or not something is working out? And how do we do something different? This really is prevalent with food. And it started on my mind about food because I was talking with my mom actually about a coffee shop that doesn't have good food, which is kind of the story of coffee shops. If you know anything, over the years, coffee shops haven't necessarily been known as great food destinations. And they tend to kind of make the same things, the same kind of paninis, the same kind of morning glory muffins, the same cookies and that kind of thing. And it's fine and it suffices, but it misses a lot of opportunity to do something well. And you can do better. Most of the time, I think coffee shops can do better than what they currently serve, but they're not incentivized to do so because all they have to go on is the sales. So if they see themselves selling out of a cookie or a sandwich, they say, our customers love this. it's our number one seller. And those two things don't necessarily go together. Maybe there's a lack of options of coffee shops in your area close to where they work that have food. And rather than enter into a state of, having a panic attack because of too much caffeine and not enough food, they're going to buy your sandwich. And that in aggregate, those little decisions that people make add up to the sales that you see on the back end. Your job, I think, and our job is to look at those sales with a little bit of a grain of salt, a little bit of skepticism, and say, but what do people really think about our drinks? What do they really think about our food? Are they complimenting them? Are they raving about them? Have you taken time to actually survey your customers and ask them what they think about your food program and your coffee program, your roasted coffee, and to address the concerns that your customers might have the same way as I think on this show we advocate you do for your staff. If you value the people that work in your coffee bar, you're going to know as much as you possibly can what they think about the job, the work, where they stand in their competencies, how they're winning at work, how there's challenges that you're going to help them overcome. And if you think of your customers in a similar light, you're going to pursue understanding what is behind these purchases. Now, it's good that they're buying this stuff. It's working. Okay, fine. You might be the only game in town and life is good. Okay, but it's kind of a hollow victory to say that we're the best coffee shop in town when you're the only coffee shop in town. To imagine that people just love the lunch options that you have when in reality there aren't really any other lunch options around is to fool yourself. And it is to rob yourself of the opportunity to improve and to truly improve the sandwich. If your customer and your panini it's warm in the inside, it's fine. It's fine. People say this all the time. It's fine. It's not amazing, but it's fine. I don't want to cause a fuss. Most people don't want to cause a fuss. Okay. And we get bent out of shape when we get negative reviews. I guarantee you there are way more negative reviews that don't get written than do. People just keep it to themselves and they give the benefit of the doubt and they say it's fine. It wasn't heated all the way through. It's fine. This time it was a little burned, but I can eat around it. You'd be surprised. Now, is that feedback valuable for you? Wouldn't you want to know about that one sale? If you took one data point on Thursday, somebody bought a sandwich. That sandwich represents a sale that in your mind, because it's a sale, is a victory. However, wouldn't it be valuable to know that that person really didn't care for the sandwich that much? Now, they might not come back for that sandwich, or they might come back a few more times and give it another shot. Maybe when a different barista is working, or maybe that's just a fluke. It happened today. They'll give it another chance. But there's a bigger story behind the data than the data will actually show you. It's a starting point, okay? But you have to be involved in the business and have leaders on the site of the business to see people's faces enjoying or not enjoying food. And you've got to set up what we talk about as a feedback culture. And we've talked about that related to your staff. But what about your customers? Another shift break talked about soliciting feedback or from your customers and why it's so important. Well, this is why. So today's episode is really about saying, hey, I'm happy if you're profitable. I'm happy if you're going up in sales and you're selling a lot of sandwiches and soups and cookies and coffees and lattes. But what your next step should be is to determine the context around those sales and whether or not it is a full victory or is it only a transaction? Because if your only victory is around a lack of options, eventually that's not going to last. Somebody's going to open another coffee shop, and if they do even slightly better than you, they'll probably get the business of the people who have long been waiting for another option but didn't have it. And if your victory is only based on just sheer numbers, but we're not looking into the quality that we can improve on, then the customer might start to get the impression that you don't care as much as you say you do. And what caring looks like is curiosity and looking to see how you can incrementally improve things, which means you can't just take the numbers at face value. You have to do a little bit of digging and see what the life of that product experience looked like rather than only what the numbers look like. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. And I really appreciate you all joining me on these short little chats on our shift break episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and share these episodes on social media. That really helps. Also, we have our YouTube channel where we have videos of all of our main episodes. Check that out as well. And as always, I will see you here next week for another edition of Shift Break, from keys to the shop.